Previously on Hardcore Altar. And our hero's adventure picks off from inside the cold tundra. Day 53. Our hero had embarked for the Snowlands. For the past 2 days, our hero had spent his time preparing for his cold journey ahead. The Plarinorphan Wall. An endless structure that runs between the Snowlands and the Grasslands. Beyond this wall is the most brutal environment that exists in Altar. Inside this frozen region resides 3 monsters that must be defeated in order to end our hero's journey. And amongst them, one rested out here in the north. A white terrain stretched endlessly before our hero's eyes, thus colors such as turquoise struck out like a sore thumb. When our hero looked around, he had noticed that a few dozen holes with a diameter of at least 7 meters surrounded him. These depressions stretched about 100 blocks beneath the surface. Something was definitely there. Curiosity got the best of our hero, and so on foot, he began descending down into the ice cavern. According to local lore, it is said that this land was much greener than it is now. Thus the land used to be called the Snowlands Oasis. Long ago, a battle took place between a pack of past giants and a single Altarian mage here. When the fight settled, the grass had been covered by a thick layer of ice, and inside were the skeletons of the giants that had been mercilessly killed by the Altarian mage. Our hero's eyes were focused on the massive skeletal remains. He had lost track of time. Thus, when he realized the cavern was illuminated by a faint orange light emitted by the setting sun, and the voices of the dead began populating the frozen graveyard. In fact, the Snowlands itself wasn't safe in the dark at all. The surface was infested with mobs when he arrived, and his horse was nowhere to be found.
Where'd my skeleton horse go? Where the hell was that creeper? There you are! Rawson, don't go. Rawson, we're going.
Without having a place to rest for the night, our hero headed east in hopes of arriving at his 5th boss altar. By noon, our hero had arrived at the entrance of where the 5th boss resided. Unlike the rest of the Snowlands, these lands were covered by a strange species of grass that reflected a murky purple hue. There have been reports of a jumping sea creature lurking around this dead tree. There must be some sort of mechanism hidden here that will lure the monster out. Out came what the f- While the elderly guardian on top was aggressive, the rabbit below wasn't so much.
Okay, where's this guy? Where's this kid doing? Yo, don't go over there. Ow!
Whenever our hero took a step closer, the creature will simply leap to the opposite direction, which was a problem because that direction is where the ground drops into a cliff.
Ow. Oh, so what is that? Where do you go? Where'd you go?
This of course made killing the creature much harder.
You're stuck. Ow.
The Elder Guardian dropped the Eye of Ender, however the mushroom underneath held on to an equally valuable item.
Oh, yes.
Mushroom Leather Hide, a luxury item that can be sold at a good price back in Alhain. Trading this can get our hero a few potions of instant healing, something our hero will very much need in the fights to come. For now, our hero needed some resources, so he found a nearby cave to loot. By the time he had finished mining, the sky had been covered by a black veil. It was night and our hero was shocked by what he witnessed outside.
Oh, what? Wait, whoa.
Countless Endermans populated the area. They were present in every direction our hero faced, which made it very difficult not to stare at them.
Bitch.
However, the night here was much safer than outside. Our hero simply had to try his best not to aggravate the self-cautious Endermans. But if you know our hero, you'd also know that aggravation was his specialty.
Exactly. Oh, this can't defeat me. Just lost now, boy.
Morning had arrived and our hero spent the next day traveling to where the next boss was.
Bright blue sun.
A city in the works of becoming the Snowlands version of Alhain. However, before its construction, the apocalypse had wiped out all the people living here. While there was the option of sleeping, our hero found much more fun in throwing snowballs at mobs. And when he realized the morning sun of day 56 had risen. Ishtrim was also the location for one of the boss altars.
There is our boss altar. Let's get it, guys. I'm ready. Hey guys. What the What?
Out came 8 skeletons, each holding an enchanted stick.
Oh my. Ow.
A single blow could send our hero meters away.
Okay. One. Straighten. That's 2.
However, in the midst of battle, an unexpected interference had emerged.
What?
Uju, the prison guard. It seemed like the 8 perpetrators were merely pawns used to bait out the real boss. While the appearance of this new entity was definitely concerning, our hero must first focus on cleaning up the smaller ones.
Wait, I got the stick. Oh, what? The stick doesn't work? Since when does knockback not work on golems? Wrong. Ow! sneaking up. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, I don't want to use the cheap military bow technique though. That's just cheap. It's cheap, you know? If I'm thrown off this cliff, I'm practically done. Ow. Awesome. Your own medicine.
It's this moment of negligence that always sabotages our hero.
Where did he go? Where did the dude go? So far down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh!
The water bucket had saved our hero's life. While it took the majority of the day getting back up the cliff, Uju was already heavily damaged, and it took a single swing to defeat the Iron Golem. The sun was setting, and our hero returned to one of the houses to camp for the night. At this point, our hero had 2/3 of the needed Eyes of Ender in his inventory, and he had 40 days to retrieve the remaining 3. He had all the time in the world, so he thought to himself, why not build a railway connecting Ishram to Alhaim? Why did I do that? So he began, paving a single linear cobblestone path back home. It was the evening of day 60 that he arrived at Alhaim. He had really spent the last 3 days building a 3,000 block long path from Ishram. Upon his arrival, he dropped by his house to eat and headed straight into the Dark Capital to get more resources. In order to make a 3 kiloblock long railway, he needed as much iron as he could possibly get. It was also a good chance to try out his new weapon. He dedicated his morning of day 61 farming for some XP.
Oh wait, that's not good.
Once farming was over, he returned to his home and spent the remaining day repairing his gear. By night he returned back to the capital for more ores, as well as to collect dark prismarine that he planned to use for his roof.
Oh!
For the next 7 days, our hero really focused on one word: rails. I mean, let me read you our hero's journal. Day 62. Got rails from the port. Day 63. Began building the rails, went back to get more rails. Day 64. Continued with the rails. Tomorrow we go back to the desert to get rails. Day 65. Travel back to the desert for rails. Day 66. Spent a day in the mines for rails. Day 67. Continued getting rails. And day 68. Continued getting rails. Thus, let us briefly dive in a little more deeper into how our hero spent his next week. Day 62, our hero had spent the day in the capital.
But whatever. Okay. We're going on a little field trip, guys. Feels good today, right? Feels really good today. Today's such a good day. Right, guys? Today's such a good day. What the heck?
In the afternoon, he climbed Alhaim Harbor's clock tower in hopes of seeing a beautiful sunset. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it in time. However, once he returned to the docks, he had noticed that rails were used for transporting cargo as well as for strapping wood.
Oh my gosh, look at these. Yo, guys, railings. Blah, blah, blah.
He had discovered a rail reservoir. Day 63. It was time to begin placing the rails he had collected the other night. However, it was stupid of our hero to think that 3.5 stacks were enough for the travel to Ishram. He quickly ran out and returned to the docks for more. By day 64, the rails present on the docks were close to depleting. Our hero couldn't remember any other place in Alhain that could supply him with the rails he needed. However, if it was in terms of Altar, he knew just the right place to get more. Tomorrow, we head back to the desert. Day 65 was used fully for travel, and in the morning of day 66, our hero had arrived to where he was looking for, a mine shaft. Here, he could get his hands on an abundant supply of rails, as well as, of course, loot. He had spent all of day 66's night underground, and by the time he came back up, it had already been day 67. Our hero located another mineshaft nearby and used the rest of his day looting there too. There was one other mineshaft that he had in mind, thus at night he began packing his things for his journey west into the rocky regions of the desert. On the morning of day 68, our hero had come across a peculiar sight.
Oh, cutie. Oh my gosh, what the heck? What the heck? Why are there so many slimes? Slime Valley, we shall call this place? Look at this. What?
He had spent the day wandering around the vicinity of Takra in hopes of finding himself another mineshaft. It was late at night when he finally discovered one. Day 69. The mission had been accomplished. Our hero had gathered rails from every mineshaft he recollected from his past adventures. At long last, our hero could finally return home. It was time to quite literally place all the efforts our hero had put in this past week on the ground. The Plerenorphan Wall, a symbol that marked the halfway point from Alhain to Ishram. While the rails our hero had gathered from the desert had depleted just before reaching the wall, it made no difference to the tremendous achievement our hero had made. And besides from tomorrow, things were about to be much easier in terms of crafting rails. At night, our hero held the dark prismarine that he had collected a few days ago in his hand to begin building the roof of his survival house. A test run was conducted on the morning of day 71. He had spent yesterday afternoon installing some powered rails. The ride down at least should be a smooth one. Now the last time our hero was in Ishram, he had used up the majority of his diamond pick's durability and left it in a chest for him to someday repair. With enough resources and enchantment levels, our hero headed back to the frozen city while also bridging a path for his railway.
Look at this. It's beautiful.
By evening, he had arrived at Ishram and was successfully able to repair his enchanted diamond pickaxe. This week, our days were in the 70s, and our hero always liked the lucky number 7. He felt like defeating another boss tomorrow, one all the way in the east. Day 72. Our hero headed east, to where the last Snowlands boss waited. The Far East is notorious for its corruption. Living was a direct antonym to how one would describe these lands. They were the definition of fear and the unexpected. Dozens of gas protected the ruins.
Rawson, back off. What the fuck?
Without passing through here, our hero could never reach the boss altar. He also realized that he brought no ration with him. Stepping back from the fight seemed to be the wise decision here. Before anything, our hero needed some food, and unfortunately, the Snowlands weren't the friendliest to life. He must travel all the way across the Plerenorphan Wall to get himself a good stock of ration. It was late that evening that he crossed the wall. Blessed by the existence of sheep. He thankfully took their lives and gathered as much food as he could possibly get for his way back to the corrupted ruins. Night had arrived and our hero had decided to lay his bed in the nearby tower. Tonight was brutally cold. The snow and rain had lifted in the morning of day 74, and after cooking all the meat he had gathered yesterday, our hero left for the corrupted ruins once again. Today was the day where he would get his 7th Eye of Ender. The sky above was a dark abyss, however the ground was so bright. The ruins of Lucifer was in flames. This is the arena in which our hero would battle the Snowland's last behemoth.
Let's get it. I'm so good at this game. What? Wait, how did you... Wait, whoa. You were just one of those, like, more human-looking ones. You just...
Out came a gas that looked no different than the others. However, our hero would quickly learn that what was different about this gas wasn't its visuals, but its firepower.
Oh god! Oh god!
Its mere impact when hitting the ground was enough to scrape more than half of our hero's health. A direct blow would mean death.
Wait, did my shulker box die?
Taken by surprise, our hero made the wrong swing.
This is just the worst things happening. Come on, guys.
It was all too sudden. When he respawned, he was back at the Plerenorphan wall, with none of his weapons in hand. 75 days. He was exactly 3/4 into this 100-day hardcore survival life. With only 1/4 of his time remaining, his next life was going to be his final chance in beating this game. Our hero must start once again at the beginning steps of Minecraft. He must get wood and food before night arrives. However, 1 minute into his new life, our hero was already facing a problem. How on earth was he going to get down? For a while, he walked, hoping that he could find a way to descend off this wall somewhere. It seemed like that wasn't going to be an option. During his brief stay in one of the towers, our hero recalled oak logs being used to sustain the wooden light beacons. There, he could get enough wood to craft at least a wooden pickaxe. With his new pick in his hand, he climbed up the ridge and slowly began mining downwards. The sun was fully above his head when he had reached the surface. Now he must find food to replenish his feeble hunger bar.
Come here, Piggy Piggy. Come here, Piggy Piggy. Come here, Piggy Piggy. Okay, come on. Are we not there yet?
He located his house later that evening to dispose all the things he had owned in his life before. Day 76. Now is a good time to remind the viewers of the rules that were installed for this hardcore survival game. First off, one could die as many times as they want. However, doing so would cause them to permanently lose all their belongings, including the ones kept in chests. These belongings do not include the structures built by the player or the animals tamed in the previous life. Additionally, out of the 100 days provided to the player is not permitted to collect any blocked ores such as iron or gold blocks until its restriction is lifted. To lift these restrictions, our hero must simply wait. On day 50, access to all gold and coal blocks will be allowed, and on day 70, iron blocks will be accessible, day 80, emeralds, and day 90, diamonds. It has already been 6 days since the 70th day mark, which meant that iron blocks were now obtainable in the city. Tonight, our hero would step into the dark capital bare naked, in an attempt to retrieve some very precious iron blocks.
Let's go. Oh gosh, this is so nerve-wracking.
The night quickly dominated the sky from the east. Without any armor, our hero stepped into the capital of the dead. The harbor which held the iron blocks was located right around the corner. However, our hero would have to run past more than a dozen spawners to get to his target location. And our hero knew well of how dangerous the mobs here could be. The last time he came here with iron armor, half of his health was erased by a single blow. And here he was, butt naked. Somehow he had arrived at his iron block stack. As he mined the blocks out, he gradually made himself all the iron gear that he needed. For now, he was safe. He spent the rest of his night fighting the corrupted villagers, waiting for one of them to drop their enchanted diamond axe. Day 77. It was time to farm. The main objective for today was to gather all sorts of resources such as coal, lapis, and books for enchantment. However, with the sun out, retrieving any materials from the capital was illegal. Our hero must wait for the sun to set. The sun set, and it had also started to rain. Our hero found a good location to camp during the day so he could swiftly collect all the items he was looking for. However, this of course wasn't as easy as it sounded.
Nice. Come on, dude. This ruined the fun for all of us. Oh god. Okay. So we are taking a little detour. Oh my gosh, was that? Okay, we're going back.
After escaping the capital, he returned home briefly to enchant his books. But looking at the weather, it seemed like the heavens allowed our hero to stay and collect materials in the capital a little longer. Day 78. The rain lifted earlier than expected, and our hero was left again with nothing to do but to farm. In order to defeat all the bosses once again, our hero needed to get his main weapon back, his netherite axe. Only from these zombies did the weapon drop. Thus our hero spent the rest of the day repeatedly slaying the zombies for the axe. Later back home, he began enchanting his gear and his new weapon. Day 79 was used to travel to the desert. Reason being, nearly 80 days were to pass since our hero started his hardcore journey. While this sounds like an accomplishment, this also meant that our hero only had 20 days left to collect all 9 Eyes of Ender. It was time to really grind.
For these guys.
Day 80, our hero faced Ogo, the guardian of the tower.
What the fuck? 急に来るやん。Oh my god, where'd you do that? I'm vulnerable right now. There's no place for me to run. Oh, you're just trying to be smart and corner me around. Yes.
Day 81. Our hero traveled to Takra and challenged its Jenga boss.
Are they fighting each other? I think they might be fighting each other.
In the morning of day 82, our hero arrived at the Temple of Judu to face the Thorn King.
I'm just a pro. You guys teleport since when? Hey guys. I see everything. It's futile. He got hit though. Boss got hit, boss got hit. Boss got hit, boss got hit. Ow. Wait, what the heck? Look at the middle one. Easy problem, just dodge all of them.
As a reward for defeating the desert bosses, our hero was allowed to take one block of his choosing from the treasury. Day 83. He didn't stay in his house for too long. Our hero simply crafted himself a diamond chestplate and leggings. Add a few more enchantments and our hero was back to his old self in terms of gear. Evening came and our hero headed back to Fort Brillinger to battle Jogo.
Oh yeah. Open it up. Yes, that's one. Why is there an extra zombie just amongst us?
Day 84. Our hero headed to Ishram. He arrived in the city as the sun set. Illuminated by the evening sun, our hero pressed the button to summon Uju, the prison guard.
I would like a stick. Oh my gosh, how lucky can we be? My wolf killed him for me.
Our hero traveled back towards Alhain on day 85 to hunt for more food, and then moved eastwards for his next boss. Our hero arrived in the Shroomlands on day 86 to challenge Nathan, the guardian mushroom rabbit.
Stop going that direction. Oh, shut.
At this point, our hero had already collected 2/3 of the needed Eyes of Ender. Word spread quickly amongst the dead about the deaths of 6 bosses killed in 6 consecutive days. Our hero was on a killing spree. However, the remaining 3 are all bosses our hero had never faced or won against before. Yoda the Ghast, Ver the Fallen Butler, and Jodor the Undying King. 3 of the deadliest entities still stood in the way of our hero. The real battle was to begin tomorrow. Our hero's next objective was located in the Haunted Mansion northwest from the Shroomlands, and the quickest way there was to walk on top of the borders. After a night of walking alongside the border, our hero finally came across the Decrepit Forest. Inside the forest was a maze of mossy cobblestone. You never know what mob was lurking around the next corner. Best suited for the spooky environment, the forest was raining that day, and our mansion looked ever so haunting. The doors were open. Inside was a dark abyss, and an ominous wind lightly pushed our hero inside. From the shadows they assailed. First of the 3 bosses left, here we go.
Could do this.
Our opponent was an evoker, and as far as Minecraft goes, they aren't the easiest to defeat in close combat. Securing a certain level of distance, our hero shot him down. Winning with such a strategy didn't make our hero feel victorious, but with only 13 days left until our grand finale, our hero was given no other choice. Lake Gladdy was nearby, so he decided to seek shelter there tonight. Day 88. Although not enough to restart a whole new life, our hero had plenty of time to prepare for his battle with Yodo and the final boss. Our hero packed his things for his walk back to Alhain. Ormar. It seems like this one survived the apocalypse. Although nobody knows how many of his breed are still left, they are still renowned for their exceptional speed and jump power. It took a matter of minutes to get back home. Back at home, our hero realized the amount of iron ingots that were still left from his looting the other day. With these, he planned to continue his rail system to Ishram. Our hero returned to Alhain later that night for more iron blocks. Day 89. In a railway system, at least in Minecraft, a minimum of 2 types of rails are needed. The normal rails and the powered rails. Normal rails are practically easier to craft. You only need 2 materials after all. Powered rails, however, are a little more complicated. Redstone was needed to craft these guys, and for some reason it never crossed our hero's mind that Alhain had a bunch of redstone blocks in stock, so he headed to Durham, the town of Redstone.
You know what I just realized? I just realized that there are blocks of redstone in Alhain. Oh well. What? Oh, you.
Day 90. Today's main objective was to get resources from the capital. However, as it was still the morning, our hero found himself with nothing to do for the first time since his hardcore life started. So he decided to continue building his house. Oh wait, the materials needed for the house are in the capital. Night arrived and our hero spent his evening gathering. Day 91. Time to install the new power rails into the system. He had also crafted normal rails as well to continue the railway from where he left off. At the end of the day, our hero ran out of rails just a few hundred blocks before Ishram. The city reminded him of the time he left for the Far East. He never saw his way back. A mysterious force powered our hero to move in the direction of the corrupted. Our hero was suddenly determined of defeating Yodo as soon as possible. Tomorrow was a day for revenge.
Oh my god.
Day 92. The corrupted ruins of Lucifer provided our hero's morning with a surprise. Yodo, who our hero thought had despawned, was still alive and well from his first battle. However, the difference from last time was that gas other than Yodo were also present in the arena. The only way of identifying which gas was which was to take damage.
Is Yoda the gas still a thing?
There he was. Our hero was lucky that he didn't take a straight bullet, or else he would have had to open chapter 5 of his life. It seemed like there was no other option but to slay each gas one by one. Here he was, a 1v1. Our hero had learned from his last battle that distance was the key to defeat this monster. However, the problem was, our hero had a laughable set of archery skills. One-sidedly, Yodo blasted our hero's surroundings in flames.
Supposed to kill him.
Less than a half a stack of arrows were left. It was time for the finale.
15 shots left. Oh god. Yes. Yes.
He had done it. Our hero had defeated Yodo, the hot air balloon. A static of achievement ran through our hero's body. 8 Eyes of Ender. 1 more left to go. Riding Omar, our hero traveled to where the final boss battle was going to be. Our lovely home and capital, Alhain. Our hero still had a week left to fight the final boss and to defeat the Ender Dragon. At this point, dying meant game over. Our hero accepted this fate and thus decided to challenge the boss on day 97, 4 days from today. Until then, he would work on preparing as well as doing other things. Day 94. Dark Prismarine was in dire need. Our hero's house was roofless and his entire second floor was damped by the rain. Our hero spent the day hunting chickens for their feathers and at night went to collect Dark Prismarine from the capital.
Bah.
Day 95. The morning was used for repeatedly breaking gravel. Our hero needed arrows for his great battle ahead, and as such, flint was a necessary material. Noon and evening was used to build parts of the ceiling. And at night, our hero returned to the capital for the gazillionth time to retrieve some Dark Prismarine blocks. During his battle with Ver, the Undying Butler, our hero had picked up this Totem of Undying as a reward. With this item, our hero planned for a very juicy Minecraft adventure narrative. It went like this. He challenged the boss, get beat up badly, endure a fatal wound, begins seeing his life flashing before his eyes, says something along the lines of, "So, I lost. 'Tis was a good life." But then a golden light illuminates from his hand and his wounds Day 96, more house building. And day 97, the final battle. The final boss altar was located inside the symbol of Alhain, the tower most commonly known as the altar. No other place was more suited for the final boss than this place.
Y'all ready? I am. Let's go.
The boss itself didn't seem to be much of a problem. Instead, the blazes took that role.
God on our side?
It seemed like the heavens were taking our hero's side today.
God is on our side. Those guys are really annoying. Oh, watch. Oh. Wait, he picked it up!
With the help of the gods, our hero rose victorious. However, there was something strange. Our boss here didn't drop his Eye of Ender. Our hero looked around. There was a possibility that luck was needed to obtain the 9th Eye of Ender. Our hero pressed the button once again.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. Drop it? Why doesn't it drop the Eye of Ender?
No luck.
Ouch, ouch.
By the third round, the rain had also lifted, and life blew into the blazes once more.
Oh god.
The tables have turned.
Oh my gosh, I was so close. Oh god, oh god. Shit. Oh.
Third look was the charm. Our hero had done it. He had vanquished all the monsters who had laid death to these lands. But unknowingly, our hero was surrounded. 3 times our hero pressed the button. 3 times the army of blazes were spawned. Just a single step out triggered a warfare. The battle was just starting. Our hero had expected the extra mobs to disappear as the morning sun rose on day 98. However, the clouds quickly gathered together, and in the second round, Alhain was underneath a massive thunderstorm. It seemed like running for his life was the only option out of here.
Oh god.
Our hero just barely got out. Outside was a field of mobs. Today, the corrupted city was at its best condition. However, amongst the mobs, our hero discovered a villager. He had offered emeralds in exchange for blaze rods. Lantern Boulevard was right there, and our hero thought it wouldn't be a bad idea to stack up on blaze rods and trade it for some emeralds. With those emeralds, he could get himself a couple potions of instant healing. However, there was 3 problems when facing the blazes. 1. They're simply strong, especially as a pack. 2. Our hero had run out of food. And 3. Our hero wanted to save his arrows for the end. With these restrictions in hand, our hero must slay as many blazes as he could.
Oh my god.
Then I am
3? What a ripoff. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh god.
When he had realized the thunderstorm had lifted, and the morning rays flooded the streets of Valheim, the battle here was over. Our hero must now head west to where the Ender Portal was waiting. Ormar carried our hero to the banks of the western fields. It was a temporary farewell. From here on out, our hero would take the boat to cross the great ocean. On day 100, our hero arrived at the ports of Pirates Island. The Ender Portal was located just south from here. And there it was, our final destination. It was finally time for the Eyes of Ender to come into use. The end. The place most fit to conclude our hero's journey. The dragon and our hero, only one would leave this battlefield breathing.
Dragon, that was too close, boy. No.
Beneath the bright purple light, our hero just stood. 100 days. It was over. 100 days. It was finally time to go back home. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my 100 Days Hardcore Outdoor series. Boy, did this take longer than expected. Nevertheless, I had fun and I hope you did too. This project originally began way back in February of 2021, and over 300 hours were spent from designing the bosses to playing, writing, and then editing these videos. So I would greatly appreciate it if you can show some love and share these videos to whomever you think will enjoy it. Big apologies for the folks who have been waiting for my building videos. I have something very special planned out for that. But for now, this is it guys. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.